Hi, this is Barb from Scrapbook Mania, and today I'm going to create a layout. Now, it's going to be a mix between mixed media and regular traditional layout. And before I start the layout, I just want to give you an update what I've been doing with trying to cultivate a little bit more of my artistic side, trying to see if I can create mixed media dolls on my own. So one of the books that is inspiring me to create mixed media doll is this one by Julie Nutting, and it's the Collage Couture. And I've been reading it, and it does have some good pointers on how to create bodies. It even gives you the measurements and everything, so you just try, if you keep the measurements, you're okay. Even gives you kind of different pose. And I think those are pretty, I think I can do that. I mean, I think that's pretty easy. One of the things I've been working on the eyes, I'm trying to work on the eyes, on how to create lips, on the whole face itself. So I'm working more on the face because I know for your mixed media dolls, the face is everything. If you create a nice face, then, the clothes and everything are pretty easy to do. It's just the face is what really sometimes is hard to make. So I'm kind of using this book for inspiration to do that. Another book that I purchased was this one, Figuring It Out. And it's a beginning guide to drawing people. Now this one is a little more sophisticated. It's not as mixed media as the other book. It's more to me, it's more grown up, more kind of like adventure cartoon kind of drawing. And they go through the eyes, how to do the eyes, the mouth, the shape, and then it also goes into how to create profiles and things like that. So I'm kind of reading this one a little bit too. It's a little grit to me. It's not as easy, I think, but I think with more reading and kind of trying to practice, I think I can get it. Not sure, but I think I can get it. So I got this book. So let me show you some of the faces that I'm doing. Now this one, I really like that one. That one came out nice. That one came out more like a little girl, and this one came out more like a grown-up. And see, one of the things I'm thinking on doing is, once I get the face that I like, I may use that to trace out my other faces. I don't know, but that's one of my practice. And see, I'm still practicing the different faces. And then this one, don't really like. I tried to do a profile there. It didn't come out that well. I'm still kind of playing with the nose. That one, the nose was too wide. This one looked a little more alien than anything else. I'm just playing with it. Now this one I really like too. It looks more Asian and it just looks nice, beautiful. I think it looks nice for a mixed media. These are one of my first ones. That one, I started playing with shading and stuff like that, and I did that one. Don't look at that one. I did this one, and it didn't come out good. But then this one did come out a little bit better, and this one was my first one that I tried doing. So I've been practicing. So I am going to do a video from start to finish on making a mixed media canvas, but right now I'm just practicing. So here's another one. I'm not venturing over to that side yet too much. So here, this layout, I'm going to be using some of my stamps. So this is a Anna Griffin stamp, and I got this at Hobby Lobby, and they still have it. So if you want to purchase it, it's on Hobby Lobby. Just go where their stamps are. This one is a Prima stamp that I purchased at Tuesday Morning some time ago, and I want to use the hearts. This is another Prima stamp that I was fortunate enough to find at Tuesday Morning. So if you have a Tuesday Morning close by, go every once in a while. I go every once in a while to see if they have any unique stamps, any unique dies, or anything like that, and I try to get them if they do. And this was one that I really liked. It does look mixed media kind of looking, swirls and things like that, so I'm going to do that. Here's another Prima stamp, and it has some nice hearts. And here's my Prima doll that I created some time ago. Now I do have a video how I show you how to create this doll, because this doll is not truly the stamp. The stamp is actually smaller, but what I did is I stamped that. So what I did for mine, I stamped it and then I enlarged it And after I enlarged it, then I went ahead and traced it out. And I do have a tutorial how I did that. But I used this to create that one. So I'm going to use that for this layout. And then these papers are some papers that I have around in my craft room that I'm trying to use up. I also have some more papers here that I'm planning to use, kind of mix it in. I still don't have a clear direction yet. I just know that I'm going to use these flowers, these beautiful flowers, and I am going to use maybe these circles that I created. I had extra circles, so I might use that. I'm also going to be using some Anna Griffin dies. So I did show you, I have a tutorial on, I have a haul tutorial that I show you when I purchased this during the Christmas time. And this one was also on Christmas. So these were my presents. So I haven't used it yet. So I need to use it. So I'm going to use that. And then let me show, oh, and the last thing I'm going to use are just these 12 piece watercolor crayons with brush. I'm going to try these out on its own and see how they work. The last time that I used it with my dolls, it came out pretty nice. But I want to go ahead and use it on paper and see how it comes out. This is kind of the layout that I'm thinking about doing. My doll, my stick doll there. A mat, another mat, and just hearts around it with some swirls, with, you know, just trying to figure out what I'm going to do. But this is kind of the structure of the layout. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and start. So I'm going to speed up the video, and we're going to go ahead and try to figure out what we're going to do for this layout. So the first thing I'm going to do off camera, I'm going to die cut my swirls. Because you don't need, there's a lot of tutorials how to use these. So I'm going to die cut my swirls, I'm going to die cut my flowers, and I'm going to stamp some of these on paper. And then I'll be back and we'll kind of start assembling the pages together. So I'm going to create some leaf, and what I do is I'm going to fold my paper in half. This is about 1.5 inch strip. And then I'm going to use my tool there to create the ridges, and then I'm going to use my deco tools to cut the shape. Then I'm just going to shade it with a little bit of brown chalk ink. And then now I decided to kind of mute down the colors of that paper, and I'm using some gesso with a credit card. And I'm doing the same thing with my mats. I'm just putting some gesso on my mats and also inking the edges. Then I wanted to use my Prima stamp, but I didn't want to put a real strong brown color on my layout because everything is kind of muted. So I stamp, use my ink, and then I take off some of the excess of the archival ink with my wipes, and then I press it down. So I'm going to take the swirls that I've cut out of pink. Once I cut them out of pink, it just didn't go well with the layout once I muted the colors down. So I mist it with some of my glimmer mist. And then for when you have delicate flourishes like this, the best thing to do is to use sprays adhesive to lay it down. And that's what I'm doing there. I'm using some spray adhesive. And I'm building up the layers. Now I'm ready to place my doll down. And I'm putting some leaves around her. Now I'm ready to place my roses. Now those roses, I hand cut the petals and I created the roses and colored them. And I will have a video on how to do that later on. Sometime this month. And I'm just going to use my Prima stamp. And I wanted to mute it down a little bit, so I did put some gesso. And then I'm just placing all my flowers and the leaves that I created. I also have these doilies that was cut with the Cricut. And I cut a bunch of those doilies using the lace paper cartridge. And I, every once in a while I just pull from my stack and use them in my layout. A lot of the elements that you see here were actually elements that I have created tutorials on, and I had extra embellishments, and that's what I want to use throughout this whole layout. So the last touches are these butterflies and these dragonflies that I purchased at Walmart, and they're actually made out of plastic with a mirror veneer behind it. And I'm almost done with the layout. So now I just want to give you a quick close-up look at the layout, and a lot of those roses, I made those handmade. That rose right there was actually from a card that my mother-in-law gave me. And she buys a lot of the cards from HSN, from Anna Griffin. And I love the embellishments that she puts on those cards. So I always, whenever I can, I repurpose the flowers and put them on the layout. And that way it reminds me of her cards. Now that porcelain rose, I created that with cold porcelain. This is another tutorial that I show you how to create a rolled rose using newspaper. And this is another tutorial there that I show you how to create that with jute. So I hope you liked the layout and I have inspired you. And thank you for watching. Bye now.